get your playoff towels ready. Because for the first time in 8 years, the Ottawa Senators are headed to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, I'm going to put this and this away because, and this too, because it's going to be hard to balance. Don't worry, I've got the hat. But what I don't got, as I'm sure you've noticed, is the beard. I don't like it. I'm going to be honest, don't like it. I like having the beard, and I don't like this bald feeling. And I think some people are going to notice the skin irritation that I've had. I keep my beard pretty good, but every once in a while you get a flare up. I know how to shave. It's skin irritation from an itchy beard. It happens. But why, your local Ottawa fan? You must be asking, why would you shave your beard? I'll tell you why. Because this is the first time in my life that I will get to grow a playoff beard for the Ottawa Senators. Did you hear that? I'm sure you've seen my videos. I'm sure some of you that have followed me for a little while have known, hey, since the start of the PWHL season last year, the inaugural season, I was rocking a big beard, and I can tell you, I had one for years before that. So, why is this the first time I'm growing a playoff beard? Because the last time the Sens made the playoffs, I couldn't grow one. That's how long it's been. I was literally a kid. Okay? The last time the Ottawa Senators were a playoff team, I was a high schooler. I was 17. I could drive, but I couldn't vote. I couldn't drink. In any province. I couldn't grow a beard. I'm 25 now. 25. I since graduated high school, graduated university. I'm now on a second degree. Okay? And I took some time off. I could have gotten, theoretically, a master's. I could have gone from not graduated high school to having a master's in the time it took to get back to the play. That's how long it's been. I graduated high school, went to university, went through a pandemic, graduated university, took some time off, and then went back to university. The last time the Sens made the playoffs, I was in high school. I am now engaged. It has been... If you were to make a list of the things that you have done since the last time the Sens made the playoffs, it'd be a long list. You'd probably have a bunch of significant life events. Family members being born and passing. Life accomplishments. Tragedy. And everything in between. It has been a while. And for the first time in my adult life, I am going to get to watch Ottawa Senators playoff hockey. They were 17 the last time I was 17 the last time the Sens were in the playoffs. This is literally the first time I get to watch the Sens play in any form of the playoffs, even the play-ins. We didn't make it. When 24 of 31 teams made the play-ins, Sens weren't there. The Sens weren't there. I had to watch other teams who, let's be honest, wouldn't have made the play. Like, I'm sorry, if you're telling me that the Habs were going to make the playoffs that year, that version of the Habs, they weren't going to make the playoffs that year. Let's be honest with ourselves. But even they got a crack at it because there was a chance that they might maybe go on a run and make it. The Sens were considered one of the few teams that were so out of it, so had no chance of even, like, possibly making it, that the NHL said, be real. Be real with yourself. You're not going to be there. Come playoff time, you're not going to make it. And this season wasn't just different. It was very different. First thing, if we were in the Metro, we would have been 2 points out of second, and we would have cleared third by a significant margin. If we were in the West, we still would be the wild card 1 team. If we were one win better. If you take one regulation loss and flip it to a win, we'd have been third in the Atlantic. So I don't want a narrative of, oh, the Sens limped into the playoffs. I don't even want a narrative of like, oh, they're a wildcard team. They're a good wildcard team. They're a competitive wildcard team. And they're a wildcard team on the up and up. You look at how close we were to top 3 in the Atlantic. You look at how close if we were a Metro team, we would have been 2 points behind Carolina for second. We were ahead of New Jersey, ahead of Montreal, ahead of St. Louis, ahead of Minnesota. So we aren't exactly on the lower, like if you were to think of the different tiers of teams, Stanley Cup contenders, the 4 division winners, the Stanley Cup contenders. Then the next tier is the playoff contenders, right? The playoff contenders, they do have Stanley Cup aspirations, but they need to win at least a round or 2. Like bare minimum, they need to win a round or 2. Otherwise, abject failure of a season. That's where you would put maybe teams like I think both Tampa and Florida belong in there. If one of those teams is going to lose in round 1, and that team's going to be devastated. It's going to be off. If Tampa loses in round 1 again, people are going to start questioning if it's over for them. If Florida loses in round 1 after back-to-back finals appearances and winning the cup, if you go from winning the cup to out in round 1, there's going to be some questions as to how that happened. Then you've got good playoff teams. They're happy to be here, but they still got something to prove. Bit of a chip on their shoulder. Teams that could do some damage. That's where the Sens are. Then you've got, and this is normally only 1 or 2 teams, just glad to be here. I think the Habs fall more into that. The Habs can get swept in for. It's a successful season for Montreal. Are you kidding? No one expected them to be here. The fact that Montreal even made the playoffs is astonishing and great for Montreal fans. And whatever happens from then on out, they're playing with house money. Honestly, I don't think that's the case for the Sens. If the Sens get bounced in, ask yourself, seriously, every Sens fan, ask yourself this. If the Sens get bounced in 4 games to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the first time they're back in the playoffs, if that is how the season ends, are you really gonna just lick your wounds and say successful season, open and shut case? Honestly, I don't think so. I will say I think as long as we keep the series competitive, the season is successful. I'll also say the fact that it's Toronto, I want this one bad. I want this one bad. So bad. And we're like the one fan base in the playoffs, the only fan base in the playoffs that can really say that we've gone through more heartbreak than the Leafs in the entire time that the Leafs have been making the playoffs. In the entire Matthews era, sure, the Leafs, they went through it. They had a lot of tough playoff losses, and the whole time we were on the couch. We were playing golf. There's one team that deserves a series win more than Toronto for their fan base. If there's one fan base that deserves it more, it's us. Every other fan base has had some level of success. I think just about every other fan base in that era has had a series win. I'm not 100% sure on that, though, so don't quote me. But for the Sens and the Leafs, these are 2 fan bases that have gone through a lot, that hate each other. It's the Battle of Ontario. I've never been able to say I've been there for a Battle of Ontario. Like, I was alive, but, I was a bit more concerned with, like, Barney the dinosaur. Okay, I was a little old for Barney. I was more getting to Arthur age, the Wiggles. Yeah, I was the Wiggles age. That's what I was more concerned with what the Wiggles were doing than the Battle of Ontario, because it was 21 years ago. I mean, there are going to be some fans in the United States who will purchase a beer, watch the game, and it will be their first ever Battle of Ontario. It's been a while, but also it's a bitter rivalry, and losing to them would stink. But getting decimated, I couldn't call that a successful season. I mean, I think it's better because I think there's less pressure on us. Honestly, I think if the Sens win a game, we can still say, you know what, successful season, as long as we don't get gentlemen swept, or reverse swept. I think it's a successful season, irregardless of whatever happens. If we beat the Leafs, we could get swept by Florida or Tampa, honestly. If we beat the Leafs in any amount of games, I don't, like, then it's house money. Then whatever happens, happens. If we win the cup, obviously, full disclosure, I'm in cup mode. Actually, I'll be right back. I'm in cup mode, okay? I am in Stanley Cup mode. Put it right there. That's what I'm in, Stanley Cup mode. But you also need to be objective about expectations. You can't just go into every single playoff saying, yeah, we're winning the cup. It's our year. We aren't Leafs fans. Objectively, yeah, there are teams that just have been here more, that have a bit more of playoff pedigree. If we lose to the defending Stanley Cup champions, I'm not exactly going to be like, oh my gosh, my night, okay, my night would be ruined, but the season is ruined? No. But I do think that we've done enough in the regular season to warrant being more than just a team that's happy to be here. No, we got to be competitive. Get it to 6 or 7 games at least. Scare Toronto at minimum. And again, that's minimum. I want the Sens to win. My expectation is the Sens to win. I'm just saying, in the event, in like knock on wood, in the event that doesn't happen, if the series wasn't competitive, honestly, I don't even call that a successful season anymore. I would say, you know what? You should have done better. We expect more. And I love that I'm here at that point. That I'm at the point of, you know, going into this season, if you told me that, oh, the Sens would make round 1, I'd say, good season, great season, open and shut case. And honestly, now I'm like, and they at least get to game 6, right? And honestly, like, with how we've done against the Leafs this season, with the fact that all the pressure to win is on the Leafs, right? And it's a team that historically hasn't done great with pressure to win. I mean, that's been a big part of the joke, right? The Leafs change everything. Different coach, different general manager. They change pieces of the depth core. They've changed so much. But the core can't win in the big game. In the big moments, the core disappears. They have loser mentality, and when the expectation is you better win, they play their worst. And honestly, I think the Sens are the opposite. The Sens are a team where it's like, when it's just, you know what, we're just happy that we're doing good, and, like, just loosen up. You did good. They play well. I think when there's, and I think that's true for any team, the less pressure you have, the easier it is to loosen up. To a certain extent, obviously, if you have no pressure, I'm thinking of another team in specific. When you have no pressure, sometimes you can get lazy. But when you have enough pressure of, like, you're in the playoffs, you want to win, but not the pressure of, like, you know, if you don't win, we'll blow it up. And people have been saying that about the Leafs for what, the past, like, 3-4 years now, and they never do. Which, honestly, at this point, as a Sens fan, is actually kind of good. Like, I would love nothing more than to beat the Leafs and then see the Leafs not make any changes. Say, nope, oh, don't worry, next year's the year. You know, that would be my favorite. More than beating the Leafs and then watching them blow it up. They get rid of Marner. They get rid of Tavares. They say that they're going into a rebuild. Oh, I'd love that. I'd love it more if they didn't do that. If we beat them, but we beat them in 7. So it's a close series, and they almost won. So they don't change anything. You know, they make some small changes, but they keep the core. Let's re-sign Marner and Tavares to just ludicrous deals. That personally, as a Sens fan, is my perfect world. Because that's the world where the Leafs do not win a cup. Like, they don't, because nothing would change. I'd argue that as much as I hated to see him go, the Josh Norris trade was pivotal in us making the playoffs. Dylan Cousins, when he came in, delivered. Norris immediately got injured. Imagine if Norris got injured when he got injured. When we really needed to close out the season and clinch a playoff spot, that's the worst time for a player like that to go down. And it happened every year. And I love Norris, and I wish him nothing but the best. And I hate that it's to Buffalo. I feel so bad for Buffalo fans. It felt like a mirror of what could have been. And it didn't. And speaking of that. Hi, Detroit. How you doing? Been a little while. What was that about? You were so close to the playoff. What was it? Something about how your rebuild was so far ahead of us. Something about 9 years without the playoffs. By the way, I have no sympathy for Red Wings fans. If you're a Red Wings fan, none. Like, my sympathy for you is less than my sympathy for Leafs fans. Do you get that? At least Leafs fans have suffered. Oh, but we haven't made the playoffs for 9. You made the playoffs for 25 years and won multiple cups. Oh, but now you had a little bit of a drought. Oh, cry me a river. I am so happy that A, we made the playoffs. B, you missed the playoffs. C, we made the playoffs before you. And D, you still haven't made the playoffs in 9 years. The last time we were in the playoffs, you hadn't been there. We got back, you still haven't been. I mean, the only way that this season, in my opinion, is perfect is if we beat the Leafs and win the Cup. Because Red Wings missed the playoffs. Sens made the playoffs. It's a good day to be an Ottawa Senators fan. It's a good day. It's been a long road to get here. And, okay, yes. Speaking of pressure, I'll cover every playoff game. Yeah, I said it. Every single Ottawa Senators playoff game, I will cover. And before you bring up the clip of, oh, I feel like it's oversaturated Ottawa Senators content. I don't think that Ottawa Senators playoff content is oversaturated. I don't care if every single person who ever briefly mentioned the Ottawa Senators on any form of social media makes a video. It has been far too long. Far too long. I didn't have a lot of the social media sites that I use, that I advertise some of my videos on, like Reddit. Formerly, I used Twitter. Now I use Blue Sky. Follow me on Blue Sky at your local Ottawa fan. Obviously, YouTube. Yes, like, comment, and subscribe. Your local Ottawa fan. Tell me in how many games are the Sens going to beat the Leafs? 4, 5, 6, 7, or 3? You know, maybe we just win by 10 each game and they forfeit game 4. Who knows? You never know. It could happen. But this is different. Every regular season game, I don't have the time. That's 82 games. I have, I don't make enough money doing this, which is to say I don't make money doing this, so I can't exactly watch every single game without fail. If I'm going to make YouTube videos about a team after every game, I am going to do my best to watch every game. Even if there are some instances where life gets in the way and I need to record the game and watch it later. With the Sens, like when there's a back-to-back, kind of hard to do. Kind of like you got to catch up on one game and then watch the other while that's happening. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's hard to balance sometimes. Even with like the PWHL and CFL, there have been times where I was like, oh man, like I gotta watch this game, make a video, and we got like another game tomorrow. Like it can be a lot sometimes. 82 game season, no, don't have the time for that right now. I got other things going on. But like I said, 82 game season, regular season, we've had a bunch of those. We've had 8 in the past 8 years. We've had 8 regular seasons in 8 years. So we've heard a lot of voices. The playoffs is different. It's just different. It's been so long. And that's less about me, making sure that my very unique voice is heard. Although it is that. I do think I have some views that are different. It's more about documenting how I feel. I'm sorry, but these videos are going to be for me. Because I forgot what it was like. It's still hitting me that, like, we're in the playoffs. And that's what I need to two things to finish on. Thing number one. This is not the first time I've kind of felt like this. I had a similar feeling with the Ottawa Red Blacks. For those of you that watch my content, you would know that I started making Red Blacks videos in the past season. The season where they themselves broke a long, arduous playoff drought. A playoff drought that lasted years. And it was surreal, even though the playoffs didn't go the way we wanted. That buildup was great. And a theme I'd been touching on all season is that playoffs allow you to hope. It gives you that chance to hope, to dream, to say, hey, look at that. We're going to add one. Hey, look at that. It's coming home, baby. When you make the playoffs, anything can happen. Doesn't matter if you're wild card 1, wild card 2, or the President's Trophy winner, best team in league history. All that's gone come puck drop of game 1 of the playoffs. And genuinely, any team can take it. And if you're a fan, if you're a fan of your local team, a local fan, if you're a local Ottawa fan, you get to really, truly, genuinely believe that this season is the season that the Ottawa Senators will win the Stanley Cup of hockey. The same way I believe the Red Blacks could win the Grey Cup. The same way that coming off of a playoff appearance, I think we're going to win the Grey Cup this year. I do. I genuinely believe that the Red Blacks are going to be Grey Cup champions. In the same way that I genuinely believe that the Ottawa Senators are going to win the Cup this year. We are. I can believe that. I can say that. Because we made the dance. Every team who made the dance can say, my team's going to win it this year. And genuinely believe it. Because, hey, until the puck drops, you don't know what's going to happen. We win game 1. Oh, we rattle them. We take a series lead. We win game 2. All of a sudden, series shifts to Ottawa, up to another. Anything could happen. And until the final horn sounds, the final whistle blows, and the final game ends, you hold on to that belief with everything you've got. And the Sens have that belief. The Red Blacks gave me that belief. I'm hoping the Charge will do that too. And to get to go against the Leafs, our most bitter rival, with the roles reversed, it used to be the Sens as the team with all the pressure to win against the Leafs, who had far less pressure. They weren't the favorites. They were always the underdog. They always won. Now the Leafs are the favorite and we're the underdog. And if the shoe can finally be on the other foot, that would be a thing of beauty. If we finally get one over them in a time where, let's be honest, it would probably sting more than ever. If we win this series, it would probably be the worst loss, the biggest blow delivered to the Leafs. If the team that's been little brother the entire Matthews era, the team that's from the same province that's been in the basement the entire time, gets one over them because they are able to complete one of the longest rebuilds, like a rebuild that took way too long, get back in, and then in their first crack at it, just take them out. It'll be great. In either case, watch me watch Steve Dangle, and if you aren't associated with either team, you're going to get a generational crash out, okay? You're going to get a video that will feed families. And let me finish this with a poem. Roses are red. Playoffs are soon. Walter in May, Stanley in June. And if this a poem, is one you remember. Don't forget that gray will visit November. And as always, after 8 long years, we will shout this in the playoffs, in the National Hockey League playoffs, for all to hear until Toronto is gone, until all other teams are gone, and one team remains from the nation's capital, and I'm talking about the nation where this sport was born. Go, Ottawa! Go!